Ever walk into a room and just feel like, wham, hit by this wave of emotion?
Huh.
Now imagine if you could not only feel it, but like subtly nudge everyone towards calm.
Oh, wow.
Like happier just by being there.
Yeah.
That's the everyday for our guy today, Jasper Hale.
Wow.
We are heading into Twilight Land for this deep dive.
Okay.
But even if vampires aren't really your thing, stick around.
Okay.
Jasper's story, it's less about, the supernatural romance and more about like mastering yourself, finding peace, but in the most unexpected places.
Yeah.
So picture this. Civil War vet,
Okay.
turned vampire,
Okay.
gifted or maybe like cursed
Right.
with feeling and influencing emotions. And trust me, this is not your average moody vampire.
Yeah.
This is a guy wrestling with like centuries of baggage,
Right.
trying to just like exist
Yeah.
in a world overflowing with emotions that he can feel and subtly mess with.
It's fascinating. Yeah. It really is. It's this paradox. He's got this incredible power. He brings a sense of calm to a room just by being there. But at the same time, he's like slammed with every single feeling.
Oh, wow.
Every like anxious thought, every bit of excitement around him. It's got to be overwhelming.
That's a lot. So how does Civil War soldier even become like the feeling vampire?
Yeah, it's wild.
Let's rewind. 1843.
Okay.
Jasper's just a human dude
Right.
fighting for the Confederacy.
And that's crucial, actually, that time period during the war.
Oh,
To
good.
become a vampire then wasn't a walk in the park. Imagine just brutal chaos, survival depending on violence, all those raw, like amplified emotions, your own, everyone else's.
Yeah.
It changes a person.
So it's not so much he was born this way. It's more like what happened to him made him him.
Exactly. To understand why he's so reserved, why he's always struggling to keep it together, you got to go back to those early days, especially his transformation.
Right, right. Like he's carrying all that history, all those like supercharged feelings, even centuries later.
Exactly.
And this is where it gets really interesting and kind of sad, actually.
Yeah.
Enter Maria. Powerful vampire.
Oh, boy.
Ambitious, wants to build an army of newborns. And if you don't know, those are basically like,
Vampire toddlers.
basically strong, fast, about as emotionally stable as a caffeinated cheetah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And Maria, she sees something in Jasper.
Yeah.
Could be the military background, who knows? Makes him her second in command.
Oh, no.
It's almost ironic, right? The guy wants peace and quiet.
Right.
Ends up in charge during a vampire war.
Oh, man.
Got to train and control these newborns who are practically buzzing with like the need to bite everyone.
Brutal. That's like taking someone terrified of heights, throwing him in flight school, saying, enjoy the view.
Exactly. So like how does he cope with all that on top of his already super senses?
It's a survival mode at that point. And that's where his gift, that influencing emotions thing, that becomes less about being special, more about just getting through the day.
Right.
Imagine being surrounded by that, by them. And not only are you dealing with your own stuff, you're trying to keep a lid on their emotions too, so they don't just completely lose it.
It's like, I don't know, trying to conduct an orchestra of jackhammers.
Yeah.
No wonder the guy's exhausted. But this is what I'm wondering. How does this lead him to the Cullens? They're known for being a little more restrained.
It's because of all that.
Oh,
All those decades. Chaos, violence.
It made him crave something different.
Makes sense.
He knows what it's like to be ruled by those dark urges. He desperately wants another way.
So he's not just some vampire trying to turn over a new leaf. This is about escaping something he was forced into.
You got it. And that desire for peace, for something more than constantly battling himself, that's what leads him to Alice and to the Cullens. Okay, so we've got Jasper. Vampire who's seen some stuff, wants peace, but carrying around all that heavy past.
Right.
And then he meets Alice Cullen,
Yeah.
who's like sunshine, but make it a vampire.
Right.
Sees the future, crazy optimistic.
Yeah.
Hard to picture two more different people, honestly.
And yet, that difference is kind of the point.
Yeah.
Alice, she sees a path for him, a future where he can have peace, even happiness with the Cullens. And for Jasper, after decades of, negativity fighting himself, Alice is almost like this breath of fresh air.
So she really steers him towards a better life. Is that how the visions work? She sees what, specific emotions, or is it more like choices and actions?
Good question. And honestly, even Twilight fans debate that.
Mm.
The way Alice describes it, it's like she sees the most likely outcomes based on what people decide. So she might not be seeing his inner turmoil exactly, but she sees that he could choose a different way to be. Break free from all that bad stuff.
Which is huge, right? He's been at the mercy of everyone else's feelings for so long. Manipulated, used. This is about him taking back control.
Absolutely. And that's where his ability, the whole feeling and influencing thing becomes crucial. Not just for him, but for the whole Cullen family.
You mean because it's so easy for things to go wrong, with Bella just right there?
Exactly. Think about it.
Yeah.
A house full of vampires, senses on overdrive, and Bella's basically like a walking snack to them.
To put it mildly. Yeah.
Things could get out of hand so fast.
Okay, I see what you mean. So Jasper's like the buffer, smooths things out so they don't, well, vampire.
Exactly. There's this scene in New Moon, Bella's birthday party. It's tense, everyone's on edge, and she gets a paper cut. Tiny thing, but for them, it's like a siren going off. And Jasper just, bam, calms the entire room without even trying. Prevents a disaster, basically.
Like their secret weapon, or wait, their secret ingredient. Like the Cullens are a perfectly iced cake, but Jasper's that little pinch of salt that makes the flavors like really come alive.
I like that. But yeah, you're spot on. He's not the hero, not the funny one. He's the guy in the background, always thinking a few moves ahead.
Oh, like in Eclipse, when they're getting ready to fight that other vampire army.
Right.
He's basically the general, right? Using all his old war experience.
Exactly. That's where his past becomes useful. He can see threats coming, knows how to plan, how to make sure they're prepared.
And it's not just about the fighting, right? He's there for Alice emotionally, too.
Oh, absolutely. Their relationship, a whole other fascinating thing. She's got the future, he's got the present, all those emotions. It's like they have this connection beyond words.
Totally. They get each other, which that's got to be a relief for both of them in different ways,
Yeah.
but especially him.
It speaks to something really important, I think. Finding someone who really sees you, accepts you, all the good and bad. Alice gives him stability, love, which he hasn't had in, well, ever. And he gives her grounding, support.
It's like the ultimate hopeful message. Even a vampire who's seen the absolute worst of things can find love, belonging. Makes you wonder, if he can find some peace, what does that mean for the rest of us? Just trying to get through the day without, a meltdown. It really makes you think, right? Like, here's this guy, trained to be a weapon, basically.
Yeah.
Spent decades surrounded by, like, the worst impulses imaginable.
Right.
And he still finds a way to be better. It's kind of amazing.
It is, and it speaks to how powerful choice is.
Oh, interesting.
Even with a past like his. He shows us it's not about where you come from or what you've done. It's about deciding to be different. Even if it's just like one small choice at a time.
And he's not doing it all alone either, right? He's got Alice, he's got the Cullens, this whole family now. They accept him, help him. It's like you don't have to go through it solo, even if it involves a lot more fangs than what most of us deal with.
That's so important. Jasper's story really highlights how much connection matters. Finding your people, your place. It makes a difference.
Big time. So as we wrap up our deep dive here into Jasper Hale land, what's the takeaway? What can we, regular humans learn from this guy? Besides maybe investing in some like industrial strength air freshener.
For me, it's about looking deeper, beyond the surface.
Oh, okay.
Everyone, even the quiet ones, even the ones who seem, I don't know, kind of scary.
Yeah.
They have stories.
Right.
And those stories matter.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper reminds us healing is possible, even from some really messed up stuff. And finding your people, that can change everything.
Powerful stuff. So even a vampire who's seen it all can find some peace. Find love, even. Makes you think. Gives you a little hope,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listeners, as you head back to your own lives, hopefully a little less dramatic than all this.
Right.
Remember Jasper Hale, all right? Proof you can be resilient, that finding your people is huge, and that change is always possible, even if it seems impossible. What about you guys? What really stuck with you about Jasper? Hit us up on social media. Let's discuss. Until next time, happy deep diving.